with the amount of trauma and just everything, because that's back to back. And then within losing my mom in 18, my sister right after got admitted into a hospital where it was life threatening. She had congestive heart failure, and this is after me going to go get genetic testing. I'm like, let me do genetic testing and see if cancer run in my line. And that's pretty big too, to kind of touch on that topic, very minor, with people who have people within their family, passive cancer or survived cancer and stuff like that. Genetic testing, and don't get me wrong, they only test but certain amount of strains, but it's still good to know.
Okay.
Now do your research, because when it comes to life insurance and you get genetic testing, certain people don't cover you no more. They'll not tell you that, and then something happened to a family member, you're like, where my money? You got don't I'm not saying go do genetic tests. I'm saying do your research first, and then consider genetic testing. And I considered it. And I'm the type of person, you're not gonna pass me a piece of paper and say, this is what this says, so sign it. No. Give me, you got a second? Okay. And I'm like this. I even tend to go to Google. Google's my best friend. Google be telling me if I feel like I'm dying or not. I'm like, Google, what does it mean? No, but yeah, I did genetic testing, and they told me, I'm good to go. But then I have a very cystic body, which that's in a lot of African American women. And that could be a topic for another time. But yeah, I have a very cystic body, and I have PCOS. And with having PCOS, it's just, it calls you to have a lot of cysts that could be mistaken as lumps, and lumps is what women are afraid of. So I had the hugest scare of my life, where they're just like, it could be cancerous, you got to come back. We see something look a little bit cloudy, and I had them everywhere, from my breast, my arm, and I'm like, what? My ovaries, and I'm like, Lord, please.
Yeah.
And I just cried and cried, but I knew, and I didn't want to go back for that appointment. But then I kind of thought of my mom and why she took so long, because my brother, and I think still to this day, he holds that grudge with her, of the fact that we've been telling her to go to the doctor for years. And had she would have listened years back, we probably would have caught it when it was a lower stage, and she would have still been here.
Gotcha.
So that's a tough cookie to swallow. That's a tough pill to swallow right now to this day, because it's like, dang, it took us finding out that my best friend cancer came back and leaving, and my brother was just like, absolutely not. He drove her straight into that hospital. He was like, we're going to a restaurant and get some food, get dressed, and drove her butt straight to the hospital. I said, that's what it took? So I got kind of offended, because I'm like, what were you doing as a child, daughter? Like, you could have told me we're going for some ice cream. Like, hell, burgers. We love burgers. We could have said, let's go. Girl, I'm going to get you that Big Mac that you always said you wanted, girl. Get in the car. But I didn't do that. And that still messed with me to this day, and it still messed with him to this day, because it's like, damn, we could have caught it,
Yeah. And
but
real quick, before you go any further, I want to know how losing your mother affected the family dynamic. Because when we lost my baby sister, which she's the last one of the whole lineage, it brought us closer. Like on some, and I told you, like, arguments, we ain't even got time for it. Like we ain't got back and forth. I don't got time. I gotta take it off my chest. We're gonna get it, and let's move forward. So like, and usually, like, when you lose someone as a pillar like that, it biblically, I've seen it happen. I've seen it where Jesus was gone and went back home. Everyone was divided, and then everyone came back. But for us, it just made us just automatically connect. So was that, in a sense, for you, the same thing? Everyone got divided, came back, still kind of rocky, closer than ever. Like, what is the dynamic now?
When it happened, it brought us closer, because before she took her last breath, they had to, I always say the word wrong, but intubate her. There it is. And she couldn't talk, and I noticed that she kept trying to say something. So I'm like, paper, pen, somebody now. And they got it, and I gave it to her, and she started writing, and I still have this paper to this day. I tend to keep a lot of papers. Y'all notice that? Write me a cute little saying. I'll keep it. Trust me. I'm that old granny later on in life that's going to pull out that box of dust. So you can be like, damn, how many people gave you? I take it as affirmation. I take it as memory.
Yes.
I do. So she wrote on the paper, and her first words was, am I dying? And, I was stuck. So I'm looking at her, and I'm like, you're doing fine. That's the only thing I could think to say, because it's like, my God.
Yeah.
So then she wrote, I love you guys. And it was that line there that I realized that we got to figure something out, And she tried to write something else, but then that was the ending of it. And she started to flatline. And as she's flatlining, which is crazy, every time I kept crying and laying on her, it jumps back up.
Wow.
And I'm just crying, and she feels it. And I'm like, wow, this lady done fought 5 years past the time of her original expiration date that they gave her. And here you are. And it took my best friend that passed, her cousin was there, because we're very close. We've been with each other since diapers. So of course, the whole family. She's there, and she's just like, this is the moment you let her know that it's okay. It's okay to let go, because she's fighting for you. But you can't let her go through any more of this, And I was like, no, I'm not saying it. And, I'm crying, I'm devastated. And eventually I gave in to saying it. And she flatlined. And to know that that's all she wanted to hear, because it's like, that's my baby. Like, I'm molding her, everyone else is older. And it's like, dang, I'm about to leave her, That's all I kept thinking in my head. And, it just took me back to that line when she said, I love you guys, that I just realized, like, we got to figure something out. Like, we can't keep doing this arguing, this fighting, and not getting along, because reality is, me and my mom, we didn't get along majority of my life, So to now get closer. And then when she opened up to me and told me the reason why she's been so hard on me, because she just like, it's just something about you. Like, I know you're going to be somebody. And she was just like, so I just had to be tough on you. That's the only way I knew. And I'm like, but why?
Yeah.
I was out on the street. I was by myself, But it's like, she never let me fall. That's one thing that she never did. But it did help, because it's like, I'm getting out of college. I'm like, all right, so had a full ride to Broward College. And I get the full ride, and then scholarship, so money come back, I buy a car. Then after that, I get my own place, and she's like, I'm gonna furnish your place. I'm so proud, So certain important points of my life, she was there, but she turned her back for a reason, because it's like, if I keep babying you, how you gonna know how to live on your own? And you're doing it at a young age. So how you gonna learn that you need to go get about 3-4 jobs to go do like how I did, So I'm out there with 3-4 jobs, and I'm going to school full time. I'm like, Mama, it's okay. It's okay to tell me to stop now, But she was just always like, so difficult, and I just never understood. Like, she'll never show that she was fully proud. I done had 1,000,001 award ceremonies, and that's not even bragging. It's just that I always made sure that I over exceeded in school, because I didn't want her to have to touch anything. It's free money out here. Let's just figure it out. It's not that someone is smarter than you. It's just that someone took the time to read in between them lines to learn it. People always like, I'm not Albert Einstein. This side of my brain don't really work too well. And it's like, no, it's what you put into it and what you can get out of it, So I always envied my family members, because it's like, dang, my sister here, she be an aspiring rapper, and you at her shows knowing every word. Tell me what grade I had last semester, Mama, right now. But I was so offended, and I just envied it, So it's like, we all just never really got along, And I always wanted that family reunion feel, that people go and they dress up, they get the shirts on. We never had that.
Gotcha.
And I still to this day want that feeling. Because you don't have it. So we just never had that bond. So as soon as, with her passing, that same night, we realized, hey, all our stuff is in Alabama. All the pictures, all the stuff we got to do for the funeral, we got to make move, So we all just said, forget it, forget work. We taking off, we calling out. We don't care what we got to do. Sorry, AT&T. But we're just like, we got to go. So we all packed up, we get in the car, and it was the best car ride ever, because we were able to just talk about stuff. We were able to give our apologies. We were able to say, we're going to do this, Now the task is keeping up with it. You can start off saying, because you're all grieving. You're just talking a whole bunch of crap at this moment, because you're vulnerable. That's just like in a relationship. You're just vulnerable. Like, man, baby, I love you so much. When you try to get out of a relationship, then the next day it's like, well, I was drinking. I was in my feelings. I ain't really need that, So we all vulnerable. We all just tired. We just saying anything, So we ain't keep up with it.
Yeah,
we try to keep up with it now.
yeah.
Like my sister called me this, and I ain't seen you for a long time. I said, girl, my address ain't changed, and you got a copy of the key. So when you want to come see me, you could come see me because Tarsha is tired of reaching out. Tarsha is tired, make sure everybody's okay. I can't do it no more. So that's what I've been doing lately. I've been focusing on myself. I've been losing a lot of people, been dropping like flies.
Because relationship takes two, no
It
matter what
takes
type it
two.
is.
And, a lot of people been reaching out to us like, hey, I noticed. Keep noticing. Okay. That's all I got to say today. Have you noticed that I look clearer? My face look pure, because you start worrying about yourself because you'll fall apart. And even that goes for family too.
Yeah.
Sometimes you got to kind of, but just let them know you always going to be there.
Yeah.
So to answer your question, it didn't work out for now, but we just got to each keep up on it. And, we have a group chat that every here and there we'll write. I work for AT&T. I can't even keep my phone out. So I barely read the stuff in there. So I'll call them like, hey, I seen that pictures was in there. What's it about?
Yeah.
So, but we're going to work on it.
No, for sure.
We got to work on it because our family is everything. And I know a lot of people say, oh, sometimes, blood ain't really da-da-da-da. It's like, but it's your family. That blood does run in your body, whether you want to believe it or not. And yes, it's blood ain't thicker than water. Okay, so what? But your blood has been there your whole life. And that's the only person that really and truly know you.
Yes.
And I just feel like what a lot of people don't understand within the Black community is that we don't have each other back with our family like other people. You see Spanish people, they be about 40 years old living in a house full of kids and nieces and nephews. But guess what they do? As soon as they move out, they get their house, they build their empire, they keep their money in-house. Yeah. You get me?
Yeah.
So I noticed that with a lot of Black communities, we don't do that.
Yeah.
We don't support each other mentally first. If you support somebody mentally, then physically y'all could accomplish a lot of things and build an empire, but we're too busy being against each other, having fallouts about stuff that's not even worth it.
It's not even.
So
it's not.
Yeah, we're not there, but we're gonna get there.